Hi folks, Dan from Smash Grapes here. Thank you for buying your Easter tasting kit. Now, whether you've got chocolate or you've got cheese, we're not here to tell you which wine goes with which. The simple fact is, enjoy it on your own terms. When it comes to cheese, the salt and fat will make any wine taste fantastic. And with chocolate, the reason we put dark chocolates in is that bitterness does actually complement wines. So, stay tuned for our taste along video and come back and spend your £10 voucher on your favourites. Here we have the Centalio Moscatel. This is from La Mancha.
That's right, this wine is from two grapes. One, the most widely planted white grape in Spain. You don't hear a lot of because it's mostly always in blended wine. Moscatel, which is blended in practice for most winemaking regions.
Yeah, as a region, La Mancha is one of the biggest in Spain. Slap bang in the middle. It's where all those great value Spanish wines come from. But that doesn't mean that the quality isn't there, though.
No, not at all. Aaron is quite an unusual grape, actually. It's got a sort of sweet and savoury flavour that you might not sort of expect or have experienced before. The Moscatel, or Muscat, as it's named in France, is a much more common, sort of more dry white sort of flavour. And that's mixed in to balance out the sweetness from the...
Yeah, it's quite an unusual one, this. I am definitely getting that kind of sweetness, but it's not too sweet. If anything, it's actually kind of making me want to drink a bit more of it.
Sweetness from wine does not have to mean a black tower sugar fest. It's actually a really important part of wine for making wine taste moreish. A little bit of sweetness can make you want to drink more wine, and hey, that can only be a good thing.
I mean, it'll be no surprise to you, but I love it. What am I eating with it?
This is a classic Spanish tapas wine. It'll only be made more tasty by a variety of salty treats. That's my recommendation.
Love it.
Cheers.
This is the Umbrella Sauvignon Blanc from the Ville Tinasuli region of Romania.
That's right, Sauvignon Blanc, a grape we all know and love. Super popular from regions like France and of course New Zealand, but vastly underrated from different regions that actually do a cracking job.
Yeah, Romania here for this wine, arguably our most popular unusual region here at Smash Grapes. The wines are just great and they offer so much fantastic value for money as well.
Yeah, Romania is great for French varietals like Sauvignon Blanc, Chardonnay, your Merlot, your Pinot Noir, all of those French favourites. It has very, very similar weather to France, but what it also has is consistency. Well, what do I mean by that? France, it suffers from being a coastal country. The weather can blow in from the sea, change the weather drastically, and the grapes can suffer. But in Romania, it is landlocked, since they don't have that changeable weather, meaning more consistent harvest and better value for money.
I don't want to overplay my hand, but this could be one of the best Sauvignon Blancs I've tried. You know, I'm not a massive fan of white wine.
Yeah, I forget how good this wine is, actually. It's made by an Englishman and his Romanian wife, and I think their trick here is to add just a little bit more sweetness to Sauvignon Blanc than you might expect. Sounds unusual, but it makes it really moreish.
I mean, look, I love it. What about the food?
Sauvignon Blanc goes fantastically with white cheeses. Think feta, mozzarella, goat cheese, anything like that is going to be a treat.
Sounds good.
Cheers.
Here we've got the Costa Vera Chardonnay from the Central Valley in Chile.
That's right, Chardonnay, the most widely planted grape variety in the world and the most versatile. It can grow in any country, with any region and any weather. Chardonnay has had a bit of a bad reputation in the past in the UK, mostly due to poor winemaking. But if you haven't found a Chardonnay that's right for you, just not found the right one. Yeah,
this one here is a Chilean Chardonnay. And that's a region that's pumping out great quality but great value wines of all kinds, and it's that unique climate really that makes it so versatile, isn't it?
That's right. As well as having all the mountains that shelter the vineyard from extreme weathers, Chile also is blessed by something called the Humboldt Current, named after the same thing as Humboldt penguins. It's an airflow that comes up from Antarctica, up the side of the country, and cools down all the vineyards there, which is really important for great winemaking. You need the sunshine and the heat for flavour, but you need the cooling effects to maintain acidity and freshness.
So when I think of Chardonnays, I do often think of that really woody oakiness. Well, what's that about? Because I'm not getting that in this at all.
That's right. A lot of Chardonnays use oak to cover up pretty poor winemaking. However, oak can be a good thing. It can add flavour to a wine. It can add texture to a wine. This one is no oak though. It relies just on the weather to create its flavour. The lovely heat creates tropical fruit flavours, and the cooling effect creates that zingy, refreshing acidity.
I love it. I mean, what about food?
Food-wise, great patio wine, fantastic on its own in the sunshine, but one of my favourites, fish and chips.
Now you're talking.
Cheers.
Right, here we have Leshian Rouge from the Roussillon region of France.
Yep, this is a field blend. What does field blend mean? Well, it's a mix of grapes. The winemaker sort of throws out different varieties into the field, lets them all grow, brings them all together, and blends them to make one wine.
Yeah, so Roussillon is part of that larger region called Languedoc-Roussillon. It is the largest winemaking region in France and actually offers really, really good value as well. It's right down the bottom. It's southern France, isn't it? On the border with Spain.
Absolutely, into the Catalan region between France and Spain. It's the hottest part of France. What does that mean for the wine? Well, it means juicy, juicy grapes. Grapes are out there in the fields, all that sun coming down on them. They get super ripe, super juicy. We're talking dark fruit flavours, plummy, dark cherry, blackcurrant, all of those sorts of lovely dark flavours.
As wine buyers now, we tend to focus on single varietals, and that just means where you have one grape in the bottle. A bottle of Sauvignon Blanc, a bottle of Merlot. But obviously, like you said, a field blend is that blend of all different stuff. And, that's nothing new. Some of the biggest and most famous wines in the world are actually blends. Chateauneuf de Pape, Bordeaux, Rioja is a blend. So there's nothing wrong with those field blends.
Not at all. Blending offers balance. What do I mean by that? Well, balance is a bit of a posh word for wine. It's about bringing together all the different elements of the wine flavours together, all at the right levels to make a tasty wine. So, for example, acidity in wine makes it refreshing. Sweetness in wine makes it moreish, makes you want to have more of it. Tannin in wine leaves that lingering flavour in the mouth so it lasts longer. Balance in wine can be achieved by blending, and it brings all of those nice little elements to make the perfect tasty wine.
Yeah, I mean, I'll definitely get a taxi home after this. I love this one. It's a great wine.
It is good.
What are we having this one with?
A juicy wine like this needs some rich gravy. I'm thinking maybe stew or shin beef, something like that.
Ooh, now you are talking.
Cheers.
We've got the Ignacio Marin Tempranillo. This is from the Cariñena region of Spain.
That's right, Tempranillo, a medium-bodied red grape, the most widely planted in Spain. Most famously, it's found in Rioja, where it's the main grape that's blended with a couple of others for Riojan wines.
Yeah, I mean, when you think of Spanish wine, and red in particular, people tend to instantly think about Rioja, but it's actually a very small winemaking region. Spain has so many others with fantastic wine.
That's right, and just like any wine, even if the grape is the same, the region can have a huge effect on the flavour. So in the north, Tempranillo from Rioja can taste completely different to Tempranillo in the south. This one is kind of in between, and so you've got a mixture of red and dark fruit flavours.
Yeah, I mean, he's talking about fruits, but I'm also getting like kind of vanilla, some kind of like woody bits in there. Where's that coming from?
Woody bits, yeah, that's right. This has had 3 months in oak. It's an oak red wine. And well, it creates that vanilla-y, toasty flavours in there, but what it also does, a bit of time in oak softens the tannin, softens that bitter flavour that you get in some red wines, makes it more easy drinking.
Wow, love it. What are we eating with this one?
Tempranillo is a great all-rounder. It's great for the dinner table, goes with most things, like tapas.
Yeah, good. Muy bien.
Muy bien. Cheers.
Here we've got the Félicette Grenache Noir from the Languedoc in France.
That's right, Grenache Noir, or just Grenache as it's sometimes called, comes from the Côte de Rhône region, south of France, just up the road from the Languedoc. Grenache there is blended with a few other grapes to make some of the most famous Côte de Rhônes, including places like Chateauneuf de Pape.
The Languedoc has the nickname in France of the wine lake. That's just purely because it produces so much wine. I mean, the wine lake, definitely somewhere I want to visit. Offers really good value. But you do have to make sure you're picking the right ones to get the right quality.
That's right. Grenache on its own, not blended, but Grenache on its own has had a bad reputation in the past. It tends to get a bit overripe and becomes sweet and sickly. However, handled carefully by the right winemaker can make fantastic wine. Grenache is a sun worshipper. It absolutely loves the sun's rays. It drinks them in to create lovely, dark, jammy flavours.
Yeah, I mean, look, if you love a big, jam-packed red wine. We know all the brands that are out there. You don't actually have to go down that road with some of those big brands. Real winemakers have been doing jammy for a long, long time.
Yeah, that's right. The difference in this is that the hard work is done in the field. That lovely jammy flavour is done by the sun, whereas with some of those bigger brands, they achieve this after the grapes have been picked, using things like powdered sugars.
I mean, I am a big fan of a yummy red, like loving that. What am I eating with it?
Grenache goes great with rich tomato-based dishes. Anything with Mediterranean herbs is fantastic as well, which incidentally grow right alongside it in the south of France.
Great stuff.
Cheers!
There you go. Those are the wines that feature in the Easter tasting kits. If you fancy coming along and taking part in one of our live tastings on the last Friday of each month, then you can join our Try Before You Buy virtual tasting. Head over to smashgrapes.co.uk, click on Try Before You Buy, and use code EASTER to grab yourself 50% off your first Try Before You Buy virtual tasting kit. See you soon.